Hey man, can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome to another edition of Two Sides to Opinion podcast. I'm the host with the most, and I got my compadres as usual, Coach Josh and Jones. How you fellas doing today?
Oh, great, baby. Great. Another good sports week.
Word. Before we get started, I just want to let everyone know that starting next week, we'll have a different format to how we operate, as we're going to have coaches come on and be part of our special guests, and you guys will be able to ask them questions and things of that nature as we move forward. So that's going to start next week, and it'll go for 5 weeks, just to give you guys a heads up. And as we do that, we'll go ahead and push into our very first segment. As you guys know, the MLB playoffs are kicking into high gear. And it begs the question, with the MLB down to just this Final Four, who do we have making the World Series? Coach Josh, I'll start with you first.
Well, I've been kind of keeping up with it just a little bit, just because, I like to watch sports, just in general. I think it's going to be a West Coast thing, man. I think it's going to be Seattle against the Dodgers.
Yeah, I could see that going down like that, man. I definitely can. To the guys in the chat, who y'all got making it, man? Who y'all got making it to the World Series? You see the four up there. You got the Seattle Mariners. You got the Toronto Blue Jays. Got the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is the defending reigning champions. And then you have the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, I will say to one caveat, the Toronto Blue Jays and the Milwaukee Brewers have never made it. I'm sorry. The Seattle Mariners and the Milwaukee Brewers haven't made it. Toronto last won a World Series in 1993. And
Joe Carter.
And like I stated before, the Dodgers are the defending champions. So I'll go to you, Coach. I'll go to you, Josh. Just give me a quick predicament of who you got, and then I'll run down what I have.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, good afternoon. So I'd like to start by saying a quick shout out to AJ Wilson and the Aces. I know we've been talking about the WNBA the last couple of weeks on the podcast, and I know it's not on the rundown today, but, we had talked about what we thought that was going to look like, and I said last pod, I thought the Aces were going to win. However, I was hoping it wasn't going to be a sweep, and that's exactly what it was. So, shout out to the Aces. But to answer the question, I think, Coach is exactly right. I think the teams that are going to win are both up 2-0 right now, and it's got to be the Dodgers and it's got to be Seattle Mariners. I understand that they're playing right now, and they're not winning, but in the overall season for the Mariners, I think they're going to win.
I got y'all. Funny Valentine stated, "I'm not going to lie. I believe in the Blue Jays, and they believe the Blue Jays going to have it." Funny Valentine's, thank you. But as of right now, them boys down 2-0. They're winning right now, and I think they're winning 9-2 currently. So you might be on to something. Me on my end, I have the Seattle Mariners and the Los Angeles Dodgers. I feel like all of what the Mariners did at the trade deadline was important, and it's actually showing up. They probably have the MVP with the big dumper. No, I'm not making that up. That is actually his nickname, which is Cal Riley. He's the catcher for them. They got J-Rod. They got Randy Arozarena. They got J.P. Crawford at shortstop. Their pitching is actually pretty decent with Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, and George Kirby. George Kirby is pitching tonight, and he's kind of struggling, but usually he's been a strong hand for them. And LA just has a stacked roster, and we already know that they have a stacked roster. They got Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei, Will Smith catching. Their pitching staff is nice and deep. They got Tyler Glass now. They got Clayton Kershaw, which is not the same individual, but he's a nice dude to have on the back end of your rotation. And he has World Series experience, which is valuable in this time. They got Blake Snell, and then they possibly got another Cy Young winner somewhere down the line in Yamamoto. So I think we all on the same page when we agree that it's pretty much going to be Seattle and LA. All I'm going to say for the Mariners is to be real careful with the Blue Jays in the essence that you can't let Vlad get going like he's going tonight. Actually, the whole team is going. It's 12-2. Just want to give you guys an update, and it's in the 6th.
Ringer.
But you can't let those guys get going because they're very they get on a roll and then you can't stop them. And I'm talking about the Blue Jays. And then Seattle's at home. Like Seattle's at home for this game and the next game, and you really want to go ahead and take advantage of it because you don't want the doubt to creep back into you because they've never been to a World Series. Any of you guys got anything on that? You got anything to add, Coach Josh?
Nah, not really. I mean, man, it's gonna be a hell of a World Series. Cause mostly all these teams play great defense, and they are. And I'm not gonna say streaky hitters, but like you said with Vlad, man, Vlad get going, it's over.
He's
Man,
going.
I mean,
yeah, he's going.
Oh no, say what you said.
No, you're absolutely correct. Vlad is going tonight. Like he's got it going. Let me take a real quick look at what he has going tonight.
Yeah.
But when I last looked, he was rocking and rolling, man. Like he was on a tear for a little bit. Let me take a look. Give you guys a quick update. Yeah, he currently has 3 hits.
Oh,
he doesn't have any home runs. Actually, he does have a home run. He's balling like he's out. Hey, yeah, man. They. I think that's a dangerous line to play with them in the aspect that they've never been to a World Series. So, in that sense, don't let the Blue Jays get going because it's going to be hard. The Brewers, even though they got home field advantage, we all feel like the Dodgers are just the overwhelming waiter to come out because of what they have on their roster. So, do you have anything other than that, Coach?
Nah, man. The Dodgers got firepower. The Milwaukee Brewers play good defense. But man, I just looked at the Dodgers the other night and I was like, oh my God, like look at this firepower. Like when you think they're not gonna get a base hit, they get a base hit. When you think that the ball is not about to go over the fence, it goes over the fence. It gets there. So that's one of the things that with the Dodgers, that you look at is like they make the plays. So
agreed.
And Shotani Shotani's so good.
So to everybody out there, to the panel has a unanimous decision that we're going Dodgers, Mariners, World Series. We'll come back to that a little bit later. as the World Series is put together, and we'll see if we was absolutely correct. So we'll go on to our next topic. Speaking of our next topic, it's been a busy week in college football, and not in a good way. As you can see, the individual that's currently on the screen, his name is Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy used to coach for the Oklahoma State Cowboys, is currently now unemployed, but still getting paid. Over the weekend, we had probably one of the biggest firings in the essence of coming in the middle of the season, and James Franklin. He's the coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions. I didn't understand, I didn't get that, but it brings up the question. The list of coaches fired in season for college football continues to grow. Are there any coaches you believe that will join them? Coach Josh, what you got, man?
If Billy Napier loses on Saturday, he's fired Saturday night. That's the word. That's what they saying. Don't know how true it is. That's just a rumor. And we talking about you're gonna have some other coaches probably fired. But Mike Gundy, James Franklin, and what's the guy from Arkansas?
Yeah. Is it Pry?
Yeah. So they were probably the biggest three, and we're talking about because they Power 5 schools. I didn't understand with James Franklin, because they haven't been bad all those years. So I mean, yeah, they lost.
Sam Pittman was the guy from
Pittman,
Arkansas.
that's his name. That's his name.
Virginia Tech fired their coach in Brent Pry. They fired him. UCLA fired their coach in Deshaun Foster. Oregon State fired their coach in Trent Bray. So we've had about Trent Dilford was fired from UAB. So we had some pretty big names get moved or into some pretty big programs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's crazy. And I think you're absolutely right in Billy Napier. He's at Florida. They had a really good end of the season last year, but they had that loss to, I think, what was it? Was it South Florida? Is that who they lost to? South Florida? Was that one of their losses?
I think so. And they like the Bulls. They the Bulls,
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. That loss to South Florida really hurt. That one hurt. But he did get a decent win in Texas. But I have him on my list. I actually have 4 coaches on my list. I have Dabo Swinney. I think Dabo is poking the bear in the essence of saying, hey, if you guys don't like winning, then get rid of me. Currently, you guys aren't winning, so I got a feeling that they're going to let him go at the end of the season. I think it's time for a change for him anyway. I also have Mike Norvell at Florida State. Man, he started off so hot, and then all of a sudden they just went cold. They're 0-3 in the ACC. We're not even going to talk about last year and what happened to them. Just being an epic collapse from the year prior to last year. So I truly don't believe that he's going to last. I don't think Hugh Freeze is going to last either. I think he was 2-6 last. He was 2-6 last year for Auburn in the SEC, and now he's starting off 0-3. And Auburn is a rival to Alabama, and they know that if they can't get the kids in, they have to win. That's the only way they're going to be able to get the great recruiting class is for them to win, and they haven't been winning. To the guys in the chat, if you have a coach that you believe will be let go at the end of the season, aka fired, then go ahead and put that in the chat and we'll discuss. Mr. Jones, who you currently have as coaches on a hot seat or coaches that's going to join the ranks of being let go at the end of the season or mid-season?
Going through all of the different options, I definitely have to say it's Dabo Swinney. We've had conversations about Dabo being on the hot seat for numerous reasons, and the fact of the matter is, I think it's time for a peaceful divorce. I don't think Dabo wants to be there. I don't think they want him there. No one has said it from either side. However, I think that's exactly where they're heading now. So, if it was up to me, I'd say it was Dabo Swinney.
I would agree. I do like we were just talking about the nuances and how he's moving and what he's saying. I think he knows that it's coming and he's trying to prevent the inevitable. But it's like you said, I think it's just a mutual time. We can talk about James Franklin and my cousin that I love so much. He got on my butt because he was like, "You put that in the air." No, I didn't put it in the air. I actually just took the time to make a calculated guess and stating that he lost to Oregon. He was the favorite at home. He lost to UCLA, who didn't have a win. And then he lost to Northwestern, who they usually beat. When you haven't won a conference championship and you can't beat the big dogs, I want to say he's like 4-29 against top ranked teams. And I want to say and that's all time, 4-29. And I think he's like 1-15 against top 25 ranked Big Ten opponents. That's a bad stat. And I do believe that he's going to end up in Florida if Florida tends to move Billy Napier, which we believe he will. I can see him going because they need to clean house in a different type of program way.
Where is James Franklin from?
I have no idea, honestly. I can look that up for you if you like.
Yeah. Look that up for me.
Give me one. Nah, he's from Pennsylvania. He's a Pennsylvania guy, so it made sense why he stayed in. Why he was wanted to go coach Penn State when he did, because when he go with Penn State, it was atrocious, and they had just came off that big scandal.
And he was at Vandy, probably one of the hottest coaches in the nation at that time. I just believe, compared to all those other coaches that got fired already, there was no reason to fire him mid-season like that.
I agree. I thought that
because I still think they could have made a.
New Year's,
like a nice paying bowl.
Okay, I can see that.
I'ma just say that part right there. So you go 7 and so what would it be?
3. He lost because he still got to play. He still has to face Ohio State. That probably would have been an L.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you fire him mid-season though?
No, I thought he won enough to where you let him know now, but you let him know.
Yeah, we're gonna part ways.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna part ways at the end.
I thought he earned that. Let's give a shout out to Mr. Brian Young. What's up, man? He says, "What up, my guys? What up, man?"
Mr. Young.
Yeah, Jones is on here as well. He's currently maneuvering at the moment, and when he does, he'll jump right on. Funny Valentine says, "I have a question. With UT, do you think it's the offensive coordinator and his plays, or is it pressure of Manning? UT went from number one, then dropped down to unranked. So what are we thinking?" I'll take that answer first as the biggest UT fan. Unfortunately, we're not ranked number 18. Secondly, the offensive coordinator is the head coach, which is Steve Sarkisian. Steve finally coached like he was supposed to coach in the game against Oklahoma. So if you know Steve Sarkisian, he runs multiple screens. Like he's a screen guy. It'll look like it's going left, but he's going right. Or it look like it's going right, and it's going left. But they also use the motion of the zone read with it. So you think they're going zone read, but he's actually going to the screen. And as long as you can pause those linebackers and defensive ends, that opens up the run game. And that's what we saw happen with Oklahoma. Oklahoma was biting on the screens because at first he wasn't calling them. And in this game, he called them. So he's currently, so that's what currently happened. Manning is learning. Manning is learning as he's going. I will more put it on them trying to figure each other out. It was a good win in Oklahoma. I throw it to you, Coach Josh. What you say about that same question?
Me personally, I think it's play calling. And I go back to this. I coached, understanding that they've been having a couple years with this guy. So you kind of should know what his strengths and weaknesses are. And I mean, I know when we say Manning is like, oh my God, he can pass, he can throw the ball, but he's actually a better runner right now than he is a passer as a quarterback. So I would kind of give him a lot more run options in the offense. They played pretty well against Oklahoma. Still got some things that I think they need to clean up. Just with fundamental things. But the coach also has to get a rhythm with Manning. And I don't know what that's gonna take. So because it kind of looks like, just from my opinion, that he's trying to get Manning to run his system, which is cool, but you also have to have a system of, okay, well, these are the plays, and these are the schemes that's right for this quarterback right now that's within my system. So I kind of think it goes on the play calling. That's just me. Now, Manning got a lot of things he got to clean up also. So I'm not just going to just be like, hey, if it's all Sark. Nah, Manning got some stuff he got to clean up too.
Got you. I agree with what you said. I do believe play calling was much better and helping Manning in the run game with how he runs his screens. And that's just from me knowing what his offense looked like.
Yeah.
The first couple games, we didn't run that many screens, and he was just letting Manning drop back and try to be a natural passer as if he's been playing the last few years, which he hasn't. So, in that sense, that was a great question. We'll move on to our next topic. And with that being said, speaking of exactly what we're talking about, the NFL has been really different lately. And I say that in the essence that we have two guys right here who currently was together in Carolina and were given an opportunity to play there and moved around. We've seen a lot of NFL quarterbacks that were left for dead having a reemergence in a different system. So it begs the big question that we always ask: is it coaching the problem, or is the system the problem? And Coach Josh, I'll let you start that one out.
It's always the system. And this is what I'm gonna say. Maybe the system is not meant for every quarterback. So, I'm starting to see like these coaches, and you look at it when you had Breeze, Brady, Manning, what's the other one from that was with the Chargers? What's his name? Got all the kids.
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers. They didn't run a system. The coach built the system around them. They were the system. So being a coach, you do have to have certain philosophies. You do have to have a scheme, and it you got to know that it works. I'm looking at Baker Mayfield. He's with a coach that's just not telling him, hey, go run these plays. Hey, these are your strengths. These are what we're going to work to. And go out and finesse these plays for us. Put your touch on it. Kind of like an artist. Put your touch on these paintings for me. Same thing with Sam Darnold. I remember last year for the Saints, Clint Kubiak, the first 2 weeks of the season with the Saints before people start getting injured, man, they was blowing people out the water. I look at Clint Kubiak being the offensive coordinator up in Seattle right now, and he's playing with Sam Darnold's strengths. Like, this is what we like, and this is what you could do well. Let's go out and do it. I think before those organizations were bad that they were with. I mean, man, we talking about the Jets with Sam Darnold, Carolina. Man, we talking about the Browns with Baker Mayfield. Man, we really talking about number 1 draft picks, man. Baker
So
was the overall number 1 draft pick.
I'm gonna need you to not say anything about Baker Mayfield, sir.
let me ask the chat. Chat. So you have like a handful of quarterbacks. You got I can't his name. Oh, Daniel Jones. You got Danny Dimes for the Colts. You got Baker Mayfield for Tampa Bay. You got Sam Darnold. You got who else? You got One Leg Willie down there in San Francisco. Mac Jones. You have a lot of quarterback having reemergence. So I ask you guys, is it coaching that's the problem, or is it the system? Put it in the chat and let us know. In the same time, Mr. Jones, go ahead and let us know what you feel the problem is.
Well, so me being a Browns fan, right? You get a mixture of both, but I think Mike Tomlin has proven that as long as you have a good head coach, you can overcome a lot of things, right? And I was listening to UCSS, which is the Ultimate Cleveland Browns show, and they actually asked one of the same things, right? They said, is it coaching, or is it the quarterback, and if you have to have one or the other, which one would you rather have? And the answer was simply, if you have an outstanding quarterback, then you can overcome a lot of the coaching errors, right? However, if you have a good coach and an average quarterback, you can, like Mike Tomlin, overcome a lot of the errors of your quarterback, right? Because you can create the culture I was just listening to Debo and Joe Hayden. They have a podcast, and when they were talking about Mike Tomlin, you know what Joe Hayden and Debo said was the standard is the standard, and if you cannot meet the standard, then we will bring somebody in who will meet the standard, who will play hard, and who will be accountable. So it didn't matter about your name, didn't matter about your pay, and in some instances, with Antonio Brown and a few other players, we know that's not the case. But for a majority of those folks, the standard is the standard, and everyone's held to that standard. So, but to Coach's point, right, we got Sam Darnold, who was seeing ghosts, right? Now I'm playing immaculate. I mean, you could almost him with Smith and Jigba, right? You can almost say that Sam Darnold is playing like a MVP quarterback, right?
Can I interject
go ahead,
for you
please.
for a second?
Go ahead.
There's a special guy, you know him real well. He has something to say. I know you was a little off when he showed up.
Brian Young, what's going on, man? Hey,
he says, Jones, long time no see. Salute to you guys. I'm locked in now. So,
hey, man, I appreciate it, man. B. Young used to be out there shooting them left-handed threes.
Yeah, same. Same.
Yeah, he was down there shooting them knuckleballs when we were in Mount Rushmore, Montana, man. So good to see you, man. I know you've changed careers, and you're doing big things. I want to say it's in the real estate space, man. So even though I don't say much, I still look out and out into the atmosphere, man, to see what everybody's doing. So appreciate you tuning in. But if I had to say, like I said, I'm leaning more towards coaching, because it's hard to find that quarterback that would just elevate your team.
So with that being
make everybody
said,
better.
This was put in the chat. You let me know what you think about it. Funny Valentine said, it's definitely the system, but at the same time, it's also coaching too. It's how you handle it. It's 50-50.
Well, that's true.
So let's just take the Browns, for instance, right? Because, I mean, why not beat up on, somebody who's already down, right? This last game with Pittsburgh Steelers, Dylan Gabriel, a rookie quarterback playing against, the steel curtain, right? They haven't been there for some time, but they've always been known for defense. He dropped back 58 times, right? He threw the ball 52 times, right? I think he took 6 sacks that game, right? Quinshon Judkins only had 12 carries. What are we doing as a unit when it was a low-scoring game and it really got out of hand in the fourth quarter, right? And that's really been what it is for the Cleveland Browns. So if you take that whole game, right, and you chop it up, what is your rookie quarterback behind a bad line doing, throwing the ball 52 times in his second start in a short week, coming back from overseas, right? And you talk about coaching, that was a poor job by Kevin Stefanski, and that's why they're talking about next week when we're playing against Miami. Is this the coach's bowl, right? Because they're saying whoever loses this game is getting fired, right?
This is what I'll say, and because I want you to go back, and I look at both of those coaches. I look at both Mike. What is his name?
Mike Tomlin.
Mike McDaniels.
Yep, Mike McDaniels.
Oh, McDaniels. Okay.
I look at Mike McDaniels and I look at Kevin Stefanski, and I'm like, something's off in the aspect. And like for Mike McDaniels, it's the defense. His defense is horrid, and he just relies on his offense. And then I look at Kevin Stefanski, and it's the complete opposite, where his defense is fantastic, but his offense is horrid. I feel like if you aren't balanced, which that's why I believe sometimes having a system that is balanced in that nature helps. The system is always the problem with me. Coaching is not necessarily system. I always think that when you try to tailor someone to the system and not knowing exactly what you have, how you stated before, in the essence of having a quarterback who's a rookie step back 58 times and sling the rock against a team that's notoriously, known for having a great defense, Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know what Kevin Stefanski was thinking. But like you said, that's a coaching problem on his
Can
end.
I interject?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Mike McDaniels does not have a problem playing talent. Kevin Stefanski is kind of trying to show everybody that he's the reason why they're winning. And we know somebody that's on the bench right now. We done talked about this 100 times. But come on, man.
Let me ask you a question. And
Come on, man.
I know this is a crazy question. Is it Kevin
Come on,
Stefanski
man.
or is it the guy above him?
I can honestly
let me jump in real
tell
quick.
you this.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think it's the guy up above him. But I'm going to tell you this right here. Once you start getting people talking about, hey, I'm not buying season tickets anymore, then it fall on the coach and the GM. And the owner like, well, you know, I just write the checks. But I believe it's coming from way top. I'm not going to lie to y'all.
Let's go to the residential Browns fan club. Mr. Jones, go ahead. Give it to us, man. You know.
Listen, so is Jimmy Haslam a problem? Yes. Is Andrew Berry a problem? Maybe, right? He's putting talent out there. So essentially, because I was hit with the smoke screen too. I was like, oh man, it's just Jimmy Haslam, right? But and I'm sure they're having conversations in the background, this, that, and the third, and I'm sure he is, pushing for decisions to be made with roster and everything else. But right now, it's got to be Kevin Stefanski. They mishandled this whole thing. They mishandled this whole thing from the beginning, right? It should have never been a quarterback competition the way that they laid it out. What they should have said was, listen, we got two exciting rookies that we're excited to see. But let me ask you, what question? What coach in NFL history has handled the offseason the way that the Browns have handled it, right? They've given first team reps to Joe Flacco. They've given first team reps to Kenny Pickett, and neither one of them lasted till week 4, right? Kenny Pickett was gone before the season. Joe Flacco was on another team in the division, and we're not even going to talk about that and how Mike Tomlin just went off on our GM saying, he's smarter than everybody else in the NFL. But I digress, right? But now you got two rookies, and I won't call them kids because Dylan Gabriel played for
6
almost
years.
a decade, right? And he's got the most starts. And, they were really excited about this guy. And you're right, Coach. They have Shedeur Sanders sitting on the bench because they think Dylan Gabriel fits their system and he's their guy, right? Because when you're talking about fit, you're talking about system, you're talking about coaching. We can see it firsthand because I think Shedeur Sanders is more talented than Dylan Gabriel, but they picked him in the 3rd round, and Kevin Stefanski is coaching for his job right now, right? So he's playing the guy he thinks is going to give him the best chance to win. And, they just mismanaged this whole thing, right? So when you go back and you look at the small, intricate details leading all the way up to the season, the decisions that they made and how they handled it, listen, Mac Jones is killing it over at the 49ers. They have injuries, they have everything else, but they're still winning with somebody who is, who fits his system, right? And, it's all about coaching. Like Shanahan is getting the most out of all of his players, regardless of talent level, because they're bought in, they believe in the system, they believe in the coach, and they believe that anytime they go out there, they can win. They don't believe that with Kevin Stefanski.
Let me tell you, you know what, you guys, you might change my mind. It might be coaching. Coaching might be the problem. Here's why. Because I keep Mike Tomlin just keep flashing back to me. And that dude probably had about 7 different quarterbacks over the last couple of years, and he still managed not to have a losing season.
But he's the constant. He's the constant.
But
go look at all the good.
No, but
go look at all the good coaches in the league.
So
they all have been there for a couple of years.
Yeah. So is it, man? When you have Sam Darnold doing what he's doing. You having Mac Jones doing what he's doing. You having Bake doing what he's doing. It still lies the question is it the coaching the problem or is it the system the problem? And man, it's
Well,
like,
let me ask you a question. Right?
go ahead.
Because we're having this debate about the chicken or the egg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Baltimore, you guys are supremely talented. What was your record last year?
We won the division. I want to say maybe we was what
13?
12 and 5 or
Yeah.
Right?
I think we
Same
12 and 5.
same team, right? You really didn't make any top additions. I mean, you had some additional pieces that you added on defense, but it's really the same team that you ran back, right?
Yeah, but
what's the difference, right? You got this defensive coordinator who can't figure it out.
yeah, and I don't like his system.
But that's coaching, right?
To a certain extent, because you got to think, and I'm going to say, you got to think. Remember, we sucked just like we suck now at the beginning of the season, and then at the end.
But you wasn't 1-5 last year either.
No, agreed. But at the end of that season, he put it together. I'm gonna give you a prime example. This previous game, that's the defense we needed in the games before, and we would have been fine. He was sending a simple blitz to constantly have pressure, which did his job, and he wasn't playing that stupid sit back zone that for some reason he loves to use. This isn't college football. You can't do that just because you're up, And to me,
yeah, but it's coaching though. I mean, because you similarly have the same players. I mean, you added Jair Alexander from Louisville or the Packers.
He ain't played the last 3 games anyway, so.
But that's what I'm saying. So you ran back the same defense, and if they got it together at the end of the year last year, you guys should have been. At least the defense should have looked a lot better than what it did at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, they should have been matured.
You see what I'm saying? So you ran back the same players. It's the coaching.
Yeah. You know what?
Right?
Don't get me started on that, man. But yeah.
But I mean, here's the kicker, right?
No, here's what I'll say.
Hold on. Let me finish this last point, and then I'll let you get in. So we traded Joe Flacco to the Bengals. His first game, he threw 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, right? But when he was playing with the Cleveland Browns, he averaged 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown.
But can you and I both say he had 2 different type of receivers out there that he don't have on the Browns? That's a little bit different. Let me ask you a question. Did that same outcome end as the same outcome that he had when he was with the Browns, which was an L?
Yeah, but so here's the difference between that though. He threw 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I forget the yardage. Being on the team for like 3 days in a short week. You see what I'm saying? And they still had a bad O-line.
Let me ask you. Look, this is a good question because we're gonna have some coaches coming up in the next couple of weeks. Let's pin this question so we can ask them and see what they say, right? Because I think a lot of them are going to have something different to say, which is great. Funny Valentine said on this topic, look at Drake May and them up there, the Patriots. They're balling. They just beat the Bills too. They're running the system right. But coming from last year, their record 4-3, it's also on coaching too. Yeah, because they do have a new coach. So it could be 50-50. We'll chalk that up, but we definitely got some individuals.
Yeah, that's what I believe. I believe it's 50-50.
Well, it's a good question.
Great question.
I love the feedback that we're getting from it. So we'll go to our next question, our next topic. And this is a topic dear to my heart, so I know when you guys seen it. Some of you, and specifically Jones, was like, yeah, right. He'll tell you the story about when we was in the military. I know he's gonna tell it. About when we first met. He was like, hey, you got what in your backpack? And I was like, yeah. Speaking of that, man, our next topic is crazy because you talk about GOATs, man. And you talk about greatest of all time, and you talk about guys that have done, some of the craziest things. At one point, wrestling wasn't considered a sport; it was considered entertainment. As the years went along, and as profoundly evasive and as big as the WWE has gotten, they're now considered a sport, and they're on ESPN. It's just crazy to say, but you had this weekend John Cena versus AJ Styles at Crown Jewel, which was in Perth, Australia. Cena is on his retirement tour at the moment. Currently, he only has 3 more matches left before he retires. And that begs the questions to you guys. Who do you currently have? And is Cena on your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers? I'll start with you, Coach Josh.
So let me start like this. Jones, the guy up in the upper left hand, I called him one night and was like, "Hey man, you watching the game? You see what's going on?" And it's a Monday night. He like, "Nah, man, I'm watching Monday Night Raw." Like, what? Like, we not watching football? What? So I know this is near to his heart. But my Mount Rushmore, and it's just my Mount Rushmore. So you got to put this guy up on the mount. I wouldn't, but Triple H, man, they gave Triple H the belt 1,000 times, and then we realized why. He was part of the family. He was part of the family. So that's legitimacy. Okay, I'm gonna just say that he's legit on there. Now, I'm gonna take him off just in a few, but I have Hulk Hogan on there. So, because he was WWF at one time. Hey, brother, rip the shirt, yellow headband, yellow and red. The Rock. He done so much at a time where I believe that wrestling was actually, people were considering it a sport then. They were transitioning in from the, oh man, this is just some people play fighting, to, oh man, look, them boys doing backflips. Man, they picking up 400 pounds, 7-foot people. They slamming them on their head. So they were doing some like athletic moves in the ring. Who else do I have on there?
Let me step in for a moment to the guys in the chat. If you know wrestling and you like wrestling, because I know B Young, I know you was in here and I know you watch it. Funny Valentine, I know you watch it. You guys, give me your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. They don't have to just be WWE wrestlers. I have mine. Coach Josh, are you finished? I just want to step in there.
No,
guys.
No, because I got my legitimacy lineup on there with Triple H, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, and 2025, you got to put Cena on there, man.
Agreed.
He lighting it up with the ratings, the moves, man. You got little kids that know him. Like, he's in the movies. He's everywhere. So now, my favorite ones got to be Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and the Heartbreak Kid, man.
Got
you. You just, but that was entertainment. That was the ones that oh man, look at them, man. They coming out next. Man, they talking and man, they running. So but for what we looking for, just being just real, those four that I gave you with The Rock, John Cena, Triple H, and Hulk Hogan, that's my Mount Rushmore.
Got you. 42 MC34 said Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Stone Cold, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Any of those four, he'll take for his Mount Rushmore. He also stated that you got to have hope. He put wrestling on the mount, but The Rock definitely took it to the next level. So that pushes to you, Jones. What you got, buddy?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. So, the story that Marcus was talking about, of course, we were in the military, and we're in Guard Mountain. It's like 4:30 in the morning, and I'm over at the cleaning barrel. For those in the military who handle weapons, you have to go to the cleaning barrel, and here comes Marcus around the corner with this big old WWE championship belt wrapped around his body, and I think you had it on for like 5 minutes before leadership came in and told you to take it off because you was out of uniform.
Right, correct.
So no, it was good times, man. I've never seen somebody have so much energy at 4:30 in the morning. And I don't even know why you had the belt on, but anyway, just a random Tuesday, my man come here with a wrestling belt. Anyway, so if I'm talking about my Mount Rushmore, I know people have different qualifiers for it, but my Mount Rushmore is people that I like, and of course, I haven't really watched a lot of wrestling, in my later years, but when I was a lot younger, I used to watch it religiously, and my top four would be Chris Benoit. Of course, you got to have Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then here's one that I'm sure nobody thought about in a long time: Mankind, and then I had Razor Ramon with that Razor's Edge. And if you ever wrestled with your cousins or family when you were younger, I've seen some people get put in that Razor's Edge, and it wasn't pretty. So, but I had some honorable mentions. I had the original Undertaker, right, when he didn't talk, right? He had his, I forget the little spokesman that he had, the little short dude.
Paul Bearer, yes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and as kids, man, you were scared of the Undertaker, man, just seeing him on TV. And as bad as the visual was and the production, man, you still kind of felt it through the TV, man. It's the personas really took over in wrestling. Then you had Papa Shango, right? Papa Shango. I don't know if y'all remember him or not. Then you had Booker T, and then you always have to include Shawn Michaels or Bret the Hitman Hart. And those are my honorable mentions, man. But I always enjoy watching Chris Benoit, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mankind, and Razor Ramon.
Got you. Funny Valentine says mine is probably Stone Cold, Kane, and The Undertaker, and my GOAT isn't retired yet, which is Roman Reigns. I do eventually feel like Roman's going to be there at some point. Once again, you guys in the chat, if you want to go ahead and put your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers on there, go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and jump into mine. I'm a huge wrestling fan. It took me a little bit because I had to try to figure out who I wanted to leave out and why. But my very first guy I'm going to put in there, you can't go wrong with Sting. I'm a huge Sting fan. Huge Sting fan. That dude carried WCW when no one was there. And then him and Ric Flair did their thing in WCW. But Sting is one of my icons. That's why he goes on there. The other is The Rock. And it was just my time. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, when you have one of those classic lines, you just got to put them up there. And then I have it was between Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker. I lean towards The Undertaker because he's from Houston and he was there before Stone Cold and he helped carry them. So I took The Undertaker. And yes, I do have Cena. If you guys know what Cena has done for wrestling in an aspect when they pretty much lost their stars before these new stars came, he was the guy who filled in. And you got to remember, when he filled in, there was no AEW. TNA was on a little bitty show. New Japan Wrestling, you can only see for a certain amount of time. So that was just WWE. Cena grew it even more popular than what it was. And that's why he is one of the guys on my Mount Rushmore. Hey, I know this is a different topic than what everybody know. I do want to put what 42MC34 said. He said, Sting, yes. He said he hated the Crow Sting. So, yes. Surfer Sting, he said he hated the Crow Sting, which, if you know who Sting was, yes, he had the surfer look and then he did go into the Crow Sting, which I believe was his best work as the Crow Sting. So we'll go to our final segment, which everybody loves. And it's one of my favorite because we get to rant about our own specific topic for 2 minutes. And that's what pops my bubble. Jones, I know you're on a time frame. I'm going to let you go ahead and start that one out. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know we're up against time this week. I don't really have too much that really made me upset this week other than the Browns. And I don't want to get on here every week and talk about how bad the Browns are and how bad the coaching is and how bad Jerry Jeudy is because he can't catch and he's got salted fingers and, how David and Njoku can't catch a cold and, how bad the offensive line is or, Jimmy Haslam being the Jerry Jones of the East or, the list can go on and on, man, about the Browns. I've gotten to the point where I no longer get upset about how badly the team plays. I will say, though, it is unbearable to watch them. Like, it almost feels like homework watching the Browns, right? I feel like, I walked into a math class, calculus, pre-cal, cal 2, right? And we haven't had a lesson yet, and we get in a pop quiz, and I got to take a test. It is horrible watching the Browns play football. And then you sit there and they keep the games close, and you're like, okay, well, maybe there's a chance. Maybe Dylan Gabriel can throw a touchdown, right? Wrong. And you sit there and in the third quarter, you're like, okay, fourth quarter's coming up. We're about to get blown out. And then the score looks way worse than what it is. So I'll take this time to say the Browns always upset me. They always – you look at them and you're just like, come on, man. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing?
Here's what I say. I'll take the next one. And I'm going to take it for a specific reason. And I'm going to talk to a specific group of individuals. To everyone who still questions how valuable Lamar Jackson is, please leave the room. And I say that because if you haven't seen the way that they play when he's not on the field, then you're missing how important that man really is. Last year, he didn't get the MVP, which I felt undoubtedly he should have gotten it. He's showing you this year why he deserves it. The man leaves the game, and they can't even score a touchdown, man. We didn't put up 3 points. We didn't put up 10 points. And before he left, we was averaging 32 points per game. But this is to the haters. And I'm going to tell y'all this. And for anybody who has something negative to say about Lamar, they say he can't read defenses, but he's throwing for 4,000 yards. I remember when y'all said he couldn't throw for 4,000 yards. He didn't throw for 30 touchdowns. He only threw 4 interceptions. I mean, what more does the young man have to do besides winning championships? And I think if even he wins the championships, you guys go move the goalpost anyway. You go move the goalpost anyway. Take a look at the Buffalo Bills right now. And they got all they people. Right? I will say this because I got 30 seconds left. Write it down. Take a picture. It's 10 o'clock. Baltimore Ravens will have a 5-game winning streak starting next week. I don't know where we're going to be after that, but we're going to be 5-5. And we'll come back to this same instance and we'll talk about this again because Lamar Jackson is that guy. Over to you, Coach. What you got, Coach?
This is my rant. I'm watching the San Francisco 49ers. And if you've been paying attention since Kubiak, no, not Kubiak, Shanahan came, every year they've been having some horrific injuries to major players. Now, I'm going to say this. The 49ers, they have some big pieces, and these people been at the brink of almost winning Super Bowls with Shanahan. Twice, if I'm not mistaken. They just need to go ahead on. Whoever own the 49ers now, who own the 49ers now?
And what I think it's 3 times because remember they went with what's his name? The pretty boy.
Who, John Harbaugh?
No.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah,
it was Jimmy Garoppolo.
And 2 times with the young fellow. Am I correct?
Oh, so they went twice with Purdy?
Yes, I think. Yeah, I think it's 3 times.
Because he ended up getting hurt in that game. I think it was the NFC Championship. He ended up getting hurt and couldn't throw the ball, so they just ran it.
Yeah. But just saying this, man, they just need to go ahead on and apologize to Colin Kaepernick and make all that right. Because they got some bad voodoo on them, man. Every year they have just not like just a small injury here. Man, these boys is getting some nasty injuries. Like they re-showed Bosa, how his knee did. And we're not even going to talk about last week with Warner. Man,
Yeah,
man. And then the year before that, man, it's always something, man. Like, they just need to go ahead on and apologize to Kaepernick. Hey, man, just make that right, bro. Hey, man, just make that right, man. Hey, bro, that's all they have to do.
Jones, you got something to say, man?
Yeah, I just got one thing to say, man. On that same vein, because I had forgotten what I was going to rant about. The hate on Russell Wilson got to stop.
Hey,
they disrespecting Russell Wilson to the nth degree. Listen, I understand you want Jackson Dart to play, but you ain't got to yell at the medical staff to get Jackson Dart back out there. Listen, you got a Hall of Famer on the field, right? He ain't warmed up. He's cold. I understand he threw the ball in the dirt, man, but you got to put some respect on Russell Wilson's name, man.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you got players talking about him. You got coaches who don't want to see him play. I mean, he helped the Steelers. They got to the playoffs last year, correct?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, right. And they didn't even want to sign him after that. And I mean, and they felt so strongly about him getting out of there. They brought in another 40-year-old and Aaron Rodgers to replace him. So you just got to put some respect on Russell Wilson's name, man, because he's going to be in the Hall of Fame at some point, and they treat him like he ain't.
So to the world, put some respect on that man's name. All right, Russell Sierra Wilson. All right. Hey, just want to thank everybody, especially guys in the chats. Thank y'all so much for for being supported as we continue to grow this thing. The next 5 weeks we'll be on a different series. We'll have coaches. We have some college coaches. We have some high school coaches. Feel free to come in and ask questions because we're going to have a time period where we do talk to them and allow them to ask questions. So think of your best questions. I'll leave us at this note. Always know that the world goes round and round, and as the world goes round and round, tomorrow will come. But as tomorrow will come, you're not always guaranteed tomorrow. All right? Thank y'all for everything. We love y'all. We out. Y'all have a great one.
Peace.